You've been in the same types of relationships over and over, and you've noticed some patterns when it comes to not just your relationships, but money and living situations. And you know that you are ready for a change. You want your second act to look and feel a lot different than your first one. You feel it's never too late and you don't feel too old and you want to give it your best shot. These are the 3 identity shifts that I'm making to rebuild my confidence and make my second act the best one yet. I'm taking a hard boundaries approach. That means that if I am not in a reciprocal relationship with someone, if I do not feel that I'm getting something back, then I immediately remove that person from my life, not in a harsh way. They just sort of gradually fall away to the wayside. Out of the ones that I currently have in my life, I want to make sure that it's a healthy relationship, that it is a relationship where both parties can feel safe to be themselves. There's an authentic interchange going on, which is also very important to me and a sign of creating healthier boundaries in my life too, where before I might have accepted someone into my life just because they wanted to be in my life, or I maybe didn't take the time to get to know someone enough to determine if they were the right fit in my life, that our values aligned in the same way. These are some of the things that we tend to be more discerning about as we mature. Some of us mature faster than others, some of us mature slower than others. I unfortunately think that I have been a late bloomer in that area, but I always say better late than never. Once you learn that it's important to look for a person's true colors, and when they show you their true color, believe them. Don't go back and see if they're going to be different another time. So, an example of this is if you do think you're going to like someone, you meet them, and then you notice that they weren't exactly honest about a situation that might have come up, chances are that they're not going to be honest going forward. So that's a really good time to immediately put up your red flags and put up those boundaries and know that that person is probably not going to be a friend that you're going to nurture into a more deep relationship, because right off the bat, they're showing that they're not very honest. And if that's something you value, then it's not in alignment with your values. So just really putting a hard stop on better boundaries around people in your life. And on that same note about boundaries, saying no to events and situations that you don't want to be a part of. I used to be a big people pleaser. I don't think I'm fully recovered yet, quite honestly, but I think I've made tremendous progress. And what that means is I no longer say yes to things just for the sake of wanting to belong in that certain event or situation. I really try to determine if that's going to be something that's in alignment with who I am and my values, or if it's something that's in alignment with the life plan that I have for myself going forward. If it doesn't fit either of those two, and thirdly, if I don't have the energy for it, like maybe I want to preserve my energy for something else, then those are 3 of the reasons that I may say no to events or situations or even people. Whereas before, when I was not as mature, I probably would have accepted and done as much as I could because I was constantly seeking belonging, validation, and who knows what else. The second identity shift that I think is important is to protect your energy. And I already touched on that a little bit. I'm protecting my energy more than ever these days because I really want my second act to be my best. My first act was filled with a lot of ups and downs, and I learned a lot from all of it, and I'm grateful. But I really want my second act to be more intentional. I really want to embrace the concepts of visualization and co creation and quantum field mechanics and all that seemingly esoteric stuff that's becoming more mainstream, I think. I want to experience the mystical, and I want to see myself really just show up for myself and for the world in a way that's going to be impactful, and it's going to make me feel proud of myself and more fulfilled than ever. And I'm looking forward to that. So, in order to do that, I need to protect my energy. And so, that's one of the things that I think is paramount for anyone starting a second act is to shift into a new identity means we have to really honor what energy outputs we have and what is coming in. And this is a work in progress for me because I tend to get sucked into social media scrolling every now and then. And I'm really trying to master the art of being way more disciplined about that than I am. Because, when you're solo, like I am, you can at times get bored and all of a sudden you find yourself scrolling. And I don't want my energy to dissipate that way. So I really want to practice the discipline of understanding where I'm letting my energy go, because when we do that, we're depleting ourselves. And I want to be way, way, way more conscious of that and contain it and replenish my energy for the things that I really want to do versus the things that I don't want to do, because I think it's super essential in our second act. If we're wanting to create this next act in the way that we want to, we need to be willing to sacrifice some things and save and preserve that energy to put it into the things that are very intentional with what we want. And that's a great segue into the third identity shift, which is practicing self-mastery. And it goes in line with what I was saying about protecting our energy, because self-mastery is about the various areas of our life: health and fitness, spirituality, our financial health, our relationships, our romance, our career. All of that requires self-mastery if we want to be the best in all of those areas of our life and have a nice balance. It requires really understanding where we're putting our energy in each of those buckets and if we are depleting ourselves unnecessarily in certain areas. So I'm really working hard to identity shift into mastering the various areas of my life so that I am the embodiment of my second act, kind of like I'm reverse engineering it. And instead of waiting for these wonderful things to happen, I'm actually becoming them every day, doing the thing every day that I dream about. There's this gentleman that I watch on YouTube who I think is brilliant. There's actually two YouTubers that I love to watch on this concept of quantum physics and manifestation. And one of them is Katie Clark. She's brilliant to watch. And another one is Neuro Knowledge. And he's a young man who is It's incredible how much wisdom he holds about this stuff. Very knowledgeable, very wise. And he says you can't sit in two chairs at once. When he said that, I had to write it down. It's so true. It's such a simple statement, yet so profound. You can't sit in the chair that's holding all of your past stories, all of your victim mentality, all of the reasons why you can't do certain things, or whatever it is that you tell yourself on a daily basis. If you want to sit in the chair of the person that is in love with her life, has kindness, has abundance, is creating all the things that she wants in her life, you have to be in the chair that's about embodiment and moving forward. You can't sit in both chairs at the same time. So, which one do you want to sit in? I want to sit, obviously, in the one that's not about my past. It's the one that's about embracing the now and wanting to move forward. And with that said, what chair do you want to sit in? Or what identity shift do you want to make in your life to make this second act, being 50 and over, your best one yet? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you soon.